So earlier today, one of my personal biggest inspirations, one of my personal heroes, one of the greatest creatives to ever live, Stan Lee, passed away at the young age of 95. This is one of those deaths that you know it's coming for so long, yet it impacts you so profoundly when it actually happens, simply because of how much this man has impacted my life and the lives of millions of others. And this isn't going to be anything super fancy, but I just wanted to take a little bit of time, a short amount of time, to just talk about him on the vlog and how much he's done for me and how much he's done to sort of shape my life and my pursuits and the lives and pursuits of millions of others. So, you know who Stan Lee is. He needs no introduction. If you do not know, he is essentially the father, so to say, of Marvel Comics. He didn't necessarily create the company, so to say. I mean, it wasn't actually Marvel Comics at the time when he jumped on board. However, he was the person that, like, really orchestrated the whole phenomenon that it would become. Like, think about it. He created Spider-Man. I believe he created Captain America. He created, well, along with like some other co-workers, he created the Avengers. Big phenomenon. He created the X-Men. I believe he created the Hulk and the Fantastic Four, but those are still up in the air whether those were his co-workers or not. Nothing's obviously set in stone about who originally created, because it was a team of writers and artists creating these characters and creating the story. But just think about those names, even if not all of them are him. Just think about the big names I've laid out, and you just gotta think about it. Like, this whole phenomenon, this superheroes would not be a thing today, so to say, without Stan Lee. Like, he did it. He pioneered this genre. I mean, it already existed. It's been going for a while. DC with Superman, Batman came before, but he really took this genre of fiction, genre of media, and made it an absolute world-changing phenomenon. Everyone knows who Spider-Man is. Everyone knows who Captain America is. Most people know who the X-Men are. I mean, some people know who the Fantastic Four are. I'm not going to say a lot, but the Fantastic Four are my personal favorites, so I love them just from growing up. And I think that brings me back to the core of this. When I was a small child, I was given a Fantastic Four comic book. It was my first comic book, and it forever shaped the course of my life. I mean, I don't think my pursuit in life is to be a full-time author. That is my passion, to write fictional stories. And I don't think these stories would possibly exist, this drive, this creative passion, if I hadn't discovered that first Fantastic Four comic book. Not necessarily written by Stan Lee himself, but he created these characters and he created the story that would continue beyond his time at the helm to produce that book. So, I can't even begin to describe how much his stories have impacted my life. I mean, we have the Fantastic Four. I've read countless Fantastic Four comics. Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man is one of my favorite, media series of all time. All the movies. Think about the core of these movies' popularity, all these Marvel movies, based on his works, based on his stories, based on his characters. The core of these movies, their such popularity, is they provide a sense of hope in such dark times. And I'm on the belief that there is darkness in our world, but it's nowhere near as dark as it used to be. We're on the up, in my personal opinion, but regardless, still, I think there's a lot of darkness in this world that Stan Lee's creations provide such a strong sense of positive escapism. Escapism can be negative, but positive escapism that teaches good morals and good values. I mean, I guess one person really can make a difference. His probably best cameo was that Spider-Man 2 or 3? One of those two. But yeah, I mean, he was the one that wrote the line. He wrote the line, "With great power comes great responsibility." He wrote that. And just thinking about that line, that is such that line has impacted so many individuals and so many people. And that line is one of the driving forces of like modern society. And he was the one that wrote that. He put pen to paper or typewriter and wrote that line. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. But I'm just really glad I got to see him in person before his passing. And it was at MegaCon 2017. I was very uncertain about going to this convention. I was very uncertain about attending. But I bit the bullet, paid the money, and did it. I'm so glad I did, because I believe that was one of his last convention appearances before some shit started happening in his life that was probably related to his slow death. And I know I didn't get the opportunity to go up to him in person, shake his hand, and thank him, and that's one of my regrets in this whole situation. But honestly, the fact that I got to see him in person was more than enough for me. So thank you for everything you've done, Stanley. My camera is going to run out, my phone is going to run out of space, but thank you for everything you've done. You've changed my life and the lives of countless others, and I wouldn't be in the sort of aspiring profession I am in today without you. So thank you.